And your mother told me on the first recording, she said, "Oh, j'aurais dû, I should have spoken about it." Well, she obviously never did, and nobody did, and that's what we call a family secret. And those kind of things hurt in the psyche of the little monkeys of the group. And there is not much we can do about it. It's part of the human conditioning. It's part of progressing through life and through history and through the change in our cultures and environment. It's part of the human mind adapting to its environment. He is able to adapt to lots of things, but he is storing also a lot of shit that he doesn't need because it's passed from a long time ago. So that's where we are at. And at that point in time, in the family, because of the size of it, even if you don't fully grasp it at that moment, I can't talk to very many people. It's useless for me to speak to Simone. She's always okay. She's always in the ferry. I have stopped that now. Your mama, there's not much more I can do, but I can understand where she feels. So now you're the only one that I'm in contact with. And if I lose your contact, now I've lost the family. There is no doubt. Because there is not much I can do. I can come to Australia and be physically in front of you. And you are going to, every single one of you, you are going to realize that physically I'm not threatening. I'm not threat to anybody. But I am in danger. The cops beat me up once. I went to the psychiatric asylum and they injected me by force. I never touched anyone. This is incredible. So that's where I am, David. Okay?
What I understand what you've said. You've put it very well.
Yeah.
You lost me on your emails ages ago because they were just.
I can understand that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I sympathise with how it's affected you.
Mm-hmm.
That history hasn't affected me.
But that's fine. At least.
Look. Honestly, I don't know if it has affected Mum or not. She says it hasn't. She's told me separately that it hasn't.
Yeah.
You can't force your ideas or force her to do anything about it.
That's correct. I can't force anyone to do anything about it. However, I can.
What are you going to do if you come to Australia and confront her or me or Simone again?
Well, the point is this.
Alienate you further.
Well, I tell you what's going to happen. The relationship I have with Simone, it's not possible in this state of affair. Because for the last 27 years I've been with Simone, I have noticed she's always moving and running and on the go and doing something. And I thought, I could not understand that. Every time I want to sit Simone down and talk about heavy topics, between brackets if you wish, anything that has to do with... not so much that we spoke about Nazi and Holocaust, we never did really, but anything that has to do with life and death, and she's very light and she wants to run away and she has something to do. If somebody is closed emotionally, that means we cannot go in their mental box for their own reason. These people are going to be closed physically also. And our sex life has been pretty miserable in the last couple of years at least. Okay? And I didn't fully grasp why at the time. I didn't even realize it because it comes on you very, slowly and you don't even notice. It's only when I came here in February and we were kissing on the candle and I come here and I have no need, I don't have any desire to speak to you. And I thought, wow, that's strange. I don't understand where it's coming from. But I kept with that just to see what would happen. I felt in my heart that Simone and we needed some space just to be able to sort out what needed to be sorted out, even though I didn't even really knew what it was. But when and then I went for this walk on Saint-Jacques-de-Compostelle. For 10 days I went on my own because I wanted to separate from anybody because it's too much interference, too much vibration, or how can I put that, too much thought from other people. So I wanted to be on my own, and I went for 10 days on my own, and when I came back, I phoned Norbert. And Norbert told me that he had phoned Alice. I didn't know he had phoned Alice. We had never spoken about it. And in the conversation with Alice, she told him that they had 28 members of the family burned in Auschwitz. That did it for me. That minute, when he gave me that information, everything fell into place. I understood everything. And then the rest, well, I put that on the table straight away. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to put it on the table, and if there is only one purpose to it, that's to help my children get rid of that kind of shit, because that's bad stuff. And I don't want to have my daughter being dead in 12 months from now because she has injected in with heroin because she didn't know why she was doing that. Well, brother, I'm not going to wait for that, and I'm going to fight nail and teeth if I have to, but I'm going to protect my children from that kind of shit.
Well, look, that's commendable.
Yeah.
I just think that you've got to go about it a better way then.
I have no problem with that, David. Where it becomes very frustrated is that as soon as you start talking about topics like this with the people that are really affected, they don't want to talk, they don't want to know, they run away. And that's Simone and Alice at that moment. And if I can keep the line with you, I mean, I'm more than happy, because that's great. We can do it gently. There is no need to force anyone to do anything, and we cannot. Even if I wanted to, I can't. I have tried here with my aunties and uncle, and it's not possible. When they are hurt, they run away like rabbits. Like if they're
look, I don't know what has gone on in your home with Ariane before. How you put this across to her.
Well, I never did, actually.
Sit down and have a sensible conversation without getting emotional and aggressive. Ariane's a very intelligent girl. She will understand what you're saying.
Well, she
and to then go to a certain point and then listen and believe what they say. If they say, well, look, you might have a point there, possibly there is some deep anguish about this, fine. If they say, okay, I'm not interested, I don't want to go there, I don't want to discuss any further, unfortunately, Jean-Paul, you have to handle that.
Well, the point is...
Accept that.
It is...
Because all you're going to do by pushing further and further is then pushing them further and further away.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, and what you're saying is right...
I'm recording this conversation too, because... I'd like you to listen to it later and think about it.
Yeah, no problem.
And this is the sort of conversation that, because you've been level-headed, you've been, less emotional. This is the sort of thing that maybe you should send to Ariane and send to Simone, so they can listen to it and digest it in their own time, and then comment on it. But you then have to accept what they want to do about it.
Now, yes.
Will you do that?
Yeah. Now, I want to put my point here to you. I am going to accept whatever they say or whatever they want to do. However, I am going to check the behavior pattern, because that's when you know you are affected or not. That's true for me, I may say something verbally, and we are programmed to please. So I may say something verbally to please. But then I check my behavior, and if I'm afraid, I say, well, there's something in it there. There is something behind that I don't see. And unfortunately, most of our... if you saw a movie called What the Bleep Do We Know, I may have mentioned it before, and don't ask me how they come to these numbers, but they say this. They say that the mind computes at 400 million bits of data per second at the non-conscious level.
Right.
And consciousness is made of 2,000 of those bits. That means that you and I, the conversation we have now, it's made at the level of 2,000 bits per second. And behind that you have a huge machine that's working at 400 million bits of data per second. And that explains why people can say one thing and contradict themselves in their behavior. And the rest, we can talk about it forever, because that's topic of what we call human consciousness, or hang on, the word doesn't come back to me, the human conditioning. But after that we can write books, and lots of books about it, because it's endless. So what you are saying is that if Simone tells me she doesn't want to talk about it, she's not affected, well, what are my chances to have sex with this magnificent woman? It's going to be very remote, because emotionally she doesn't want to open up either. So the rest, everything closed, and she's afraid. So when you are afraid, when I am afraid, I close up, I go in a corner, I run away from stuff. And when I'm not afraid, which is the opposite, which is love, if you wish, I open up to things. I go for the challenge. I embrace his life.